After graduating from a vocational high school, I found myself taking a break at home at the age of 20, having become the black sheep of the family. During this time, I stayed at my uncle's house, where I shared special memories with my kind aunt. Ever since I was young, I had a passion for food. I could tell the difference in the taste of garlic that my mom bought from different regions, which she marveled at my discerning palate. Starting from my upper elementary school years, I began cooking simple dishes like ramen, fried eggs, pancakes, curry, and quesadillas. Though this left the kitchen quite messy, my family loved my cooking. I had little interest in academia, and after discussing it with my parents, decided to enroll in a vocational high school. There, I learned to cook various cuisines and even obtained certifications in Western, Chinese, Japanese cooking and baking. My parents were thrilled with each certification I earned and even gifted me an expensive knife for my birthday. They hoped I would work hard to get into a culinary college and study abroad if possible. However, the threshold for college was too high for me. After graduating high school, I worked as a baker in a bakery, starting my day at 7 a.m. to open the shop and bake bread. But that job didn't last long. It was too physically demanding, even though it didn't involve customer service. Believing I could always find employment with my certifications, I decided to take a break at home for a while. My mother has a younger brother, my uncle, who got married 2 years ago and is enjoying his newlywed life. He runs a food supplier in the countryside. After hearing about my situation, he suggested I come stay with him to help out at his supplier, which was doing so well he needed to hire an additional employee, but had difficulty finding one. The local youth had moved to the cities for work, making it hard to find young workers. He offered to pay me 1.5 times the hourly wage if I came down to help, which wasn't related to cooking, but the higher salary was tempting enough to make me pack my bags without hesitation. I met my aunt when I was in my second year of high school and was surprised by my uncle's standards. He had always been picky, to the point of registering with a matchmaking service after failing to find someone suitable through personal connections. However, he met my aunt through that service, who was exactly his type, taller than average, slim, with fair skin and distinctive features. My mom mentioned that it seemed like my aunt hadn't had any cosmetic surgery, noting it was almost a miracle such a natural beauty married my uncle. My aunt runs a successful art academy near an elementary school. She genuinely loves children and is excellent at consulting with parents, making her art academy the most popular in the neighborhood. My uncle, on the other hand, is thriving in his business, but can't get help from my aunt, so he works with an accountant and a male employee. Following my aunt's advice, they have promoted the store, using social media and YouTube, and even give small gifts to customers who bring their children on Children's Day and Christmas. They also give small pantries to parents who come for consultations at the Art Academy, which has really helped spread the word among locals. My uncle asked me to come help for about 2 weeks, hinting I might stay longer depending on how things go, so I made sure to pack enough for an extended stay. I have a dog named Happy, who refuses to eat or relieve himself when I'm not around, so I brought him with me. Upon arriving at my aunt's house, we were warmly welcomed, though Happy initially barked at not recognizing her. But she loves dogs and quickly made friends with Happy. I apologized for bringing Happy, explaining my parents are too busy to walk him. My aunt kindly offered to accompany me on walks with Happy. My uncle comes home late every night because he's busy tidying the store. My aunt prepared a lavish dinner, and I went to bed early. The next day, I began to learn the work at my uncle's grocery store, stocking items and occasionally helping customers or managing the cash register. One day, while dining out with my uncle, the restaurant owner joked, asking who the handsome young man with him was. My uncle proudly explained that I was his nephew, working in his store from today, which seemed to make him very happy. Working 12 hours a day and coming home late became the routine, leaving little time to play with Happy. Fortunately, my aunt took Happy for walks, changed his pee diapers, and even bought his favorite cans of salmon and chew toys. Her kindness deeply moved me. During one of our talks, she mentioned how much she loves children and wishes to have her own soon, but feels lonely because my uncle is always very busy. Business had been going well, leaving me in high spirits but admittedly a bit worn out. So on Monday afternoon, I headed home to unwind. After taking Happy for a long overdue walk, I returned to find my aunt, freshly showered and taken aback by my sudden appearance. She quickly got over the surprise, suggesting we have dinner together. "Let me cook tonight. You should rest," I insisted, nudging her towards the living room. Digging through the fridge, I whipped up a meal, showcasing my seldom-used culinary skills. When I called her to eat, she was visibly impressed by the spread of dishes on the table. After finishing our meal, we decided to catch up with a trendy movie. Turning on the TV, I grabbed some beers and snacks and sat next to her, spending the rest of the evening together. After the date my uncle had promised to return had passed, I felt a deeper desire to stay and help out more with his work. My uncle had to leave the store suddenly because a friend's mother had passed away, saying, "Mr. Lee will handle closing the shop today. You go straight home after work. The funeral home is far, so I might not return until tomorrow morning." That night, I stayed up late with my aunt in her room. The next day, she made us cream of mushroom soup, jokingly saying, "It's good to be young," with a laugh. I received a bonus on top of my salary, and every payday, I made sure to bring small gifts for my aunt and uncle. I also prepared various dishes, wanting to relieve my aunt from kitchen duties, as she was tired, and I wanted to help. My aunt expressed a desire to have a baby in the fall, and on important days, she kept a bit of distance from me. 3 months later, she was ecstatic to announce that a beautiful baby was on the way, and I was thrilled at the prospect of having a cousin. Throughout her pregnancy, my aunt was strong, and even visited my room when my uncle went out late with friends. When she was heavily pregnant, I got a job at a franchise close to our home, and sadly, it was time to say goodbye to my aunt. Now in my 30s, I run my own restaurant, and my younger cousin is attending elementary school. At family gatherings on my mother's side, my aunt and I sometimes exchange knowing glances. I don't think I'll ever forget my beautiful aunt, who was so kind to me when I was an immature 20-something.